People don't understand what we do, and they conclude that Catholics worship statues. It's not true. If you kneel before a statue to pray, it doesn't mean you are praying to the statue. Statues or paintings or other artistic devices are used often to call to mind the person we are remembering, the person we have in mind, to keep fresh. If we are talking about Jesus, holy pictures, the saints, when these pictures are available, they help us to connect, they help us to remember the people we are relating with. Just as it's easier to remember someone's mother by looking at her photograph, so it is easier to recall the life of the saints too by looking at the representations of them. Now, in the Old Testament of the Bible, in Exodus chapter 25, 18 to 20, God commanded, "And you shall make 2 cherubim of gold, of hammered work shall you make them, on the 2 ends of the mercy seat. Make 1 cherub on the one end and 1 on the other." There are other instructions given there. But in that passage, we see what could be described as statues commanded by God to be used in worship. Then, when you go to 1 Chronicles chapter 28, 18 to 19, when the time came to build the temple in Jerusalem, God inspired David's plans for it, which included his plan for the golden chariot of the cherubim that spread their wings and covered the ark of the covenant of the Lord. A statue was inserted in the temple, even in the Old Testament. Read 1 Chronicles chapter 28, 18 to 19. Then if you go to 2 Chronicles chapter 3, verse 10 to 14, you discover that in obedience to the divine plan, Solomon built 2 golden statues of cherubim. In the most holy place, he made 2 cherubim of wood and overlaid them with gold. So the wings of the cherubim together extended 20 cubits, and read more, 20 cubits, one wing of 1 or 5 cubits touched the wall of the house, and its other of 5 cubits touched the wing of the other cherub. And he made the veil of blue and purple and crimson fabrics and fine linen, and wrought cherubim on it. In Numbers chapter 21, 8 to 9, Moses was told, "Make a fiery serpent and set it on a pole. Everyone who is bitten by a snake, when he sees it, he shall live." So Moses made a bronze serpent and set it on a pole. If a serpent bit any man, he would look at the bronze serpent and live. This is the actual representation of what we do in this New Testament by looking at the crucifix, by looking at the Jesus Christ, his holy image. We believe that in the same way they looked upon the bronze serpent in the Old Testament, in our own era, when we look upon Jesus crucified, a representation of Jesus, when we look upon him, we are also reminded of events of Calvary, and we can draw our healing and God's mercies. In the New Testament, Jesus said that he himself is what the bronze serpent represented. So it was a symbolic representation of Jesus. In John chapter 3, verse 14. There was no problem with this statue. God had commanded it to be made, so long as people did not worship it. So when they worshipped it, when they did, the righteous king Hezekiah had it destroyed. As soon as you go to worship a statue, that statue is no longer good. It could be destroyed, because it's not meant to be worshipped in itself. It's meant to draw your mind and call your attention to God himself, to divine things, divine beings, to the saints, or things that uplift the spirit. So in 2 Kings chapter 18, verse 4, when the statue was being worshipped, the righteous king Hezekiah had it destroyed. This clearly shows the difference between proper religious use of statues and idolatry. We are not idolatrous when we use statues in the Catholic Church. God bless you. God bless you. Sorry if the message is lengthy, but it's for you to understand. God bless you again.